Hey, what's going on, guys? It's B from Kong's R Us, and welcome to The Next Level. This is my weekly podcast show where I bring you next level things, guests, projects, and man, today we have a pretty awesome guest and an awesome show because if you couldn't tell lately from my posts and my videos and my live stream arcade pickups that I've done in the last week, almost a week ago, I picked up my very first real pinball machine, like a mechanical pinball machine, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. In fact, to the point where I'm thinking about how I can even modify it. And people are like, you just bought a $6,000 pinball machine and you're already like modding it and adding things to it, which I'm just crazy if that's the most expensive toy that I've gotten and I'm already tinkering with it. And people are like, just leave it alone. It's a real thing. But I'm like, I think there's still some room of flexibility for that. One of the people that I've been speaking to over the last couple of months is this guy named Tom. And we had been working on a project together because he wanted a Star Wars mod. And then he just casually drops one of the chats afterwards, was like, oh yeah, I'm a pinball fan. I have like 35 to 40 tables in my house. And I'm like, wait, what did you just say? Did you say you owned 30 to 40 pinball tables? Like, yeah. And then he started sending me these pictures, and then the pictures are just coming in. And I was like, you saw some of the pictures that I saw in chat, and they were just like dropping like one after the other, just amazing photos of his place that I was just like, man, are you serious? And it was just amazing to hear that there could be a dream home arcade in existence somewhere, and I believe it's at Tom's house. So I'm gonna bring him on a stream right now and welcome him to the stream. Welcome to the next level, Tom. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you doing, B?
Good. Oh, look at that background. It's so beautiful. I mean, I was enamored and jealous when you sent me those pictures, and I was like, no way, no way. They just kept going. So
You were talking about mods. See the toppers there?
I do. Yeah.
The Led Zeppelin one, the lights actually move back and forth. So you might see them kind of going across the ceiling. It's pretty
Nice.
cool.
So you're a modder yourself then, right? But it seems like
Uh,
you dabble
yeah.
more in pinball than regular arcades, like most of our audience here, no?
Correct, but I actually started with modding arcade machines, so
Oh,
it's
did
kind of
you?
funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Tom Garrett
But
says
that's
not this
what's
Tom, sadly. So
That's how
yeah,
it all started for me. I
yeah,
found MAME on online and the rest, and then I started getting into visual pinball,
yeah.
and then I was like, I kind of want the real thing, and
So you started the virtual pinball route because the last year,
yes,
if you couldn't tell, even 6 months more than anything, the commercialization of virtual pinball has gotten people into the hobby, which is probably like me, introduced them into the world of real pinball. So it sounds like the same. Like you started off as a fan, you started a visual pinball, and then it grew from there. How long ago was that? When did you buy your first
it
real
was
kind of pinball table?
around 2008, 2009.
Okay. So it's not that long ago. I mean, because
Oh,
pinballs have been around for a long time. So over the last 13 years, you've
yep.
amassed so that's like almost two per year, if not more,
Yeah, I guess so.
something like
Yeah,
that.
it grows. It's a
It grows.
disease.
It's a disease. Oh my goodness. So do you have significant others or family members that also enjoy this hobby, or is this?
Yes,
Yeah.
my son Neil
Uh-huh.
actually goes to pinball tournaments with me and pinball leagues, and he's
Yeah.
really into it as well.
Oh, so that's awesome that you can share the hobby with the family as well. Because I mean, it takes up a lot of space. So one, you must have an
Yes.
amazing space to house all this stuff. Have you had to make any accommodations to your space to make dedicated pinball rooms that you have in your house?
Yeah, yes and no. A
Yeah.
couch had to go one time, it was like, yeah, we need a pinball. We need pinballs in
What was the first?
here.
What was the very first machine that you bought, and why?
The first machine I bought was a Data East Batman.
Ooh, good
And
one.
it was basically just on the theme. I love the movie. I like,
Hmm.
Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson.
Hmm.
And on pinball standards, it's not considered one of the better games, but it
Hmm.
was fun to play.
Yeah, and that was early on. Do you still have that first pinball table, or is it have
I
you?
do not.
So you've
I
cycled
do.
through. So you
Yeah.
have moved some and you've gotten some. So what's the total count? What's the official total count? I think I asked you, and you
Yeah,
gave
I
me a
think I have 37 here, and then I have 5 at my office.
he gave me such a first world problem answer. Yeah, I was like, "How many pinballs do you have?" He's like, "The real number." He's like, "I don't remember." Like, if you don't remember how many machines you have, that we have a problem, Tom. If you can't count them, but that's a good problem to have for someone that's as into pinball as you are. And for those that don't know, I put it in the description that Tom also has his own YouTube channel called Fox Cities Pinball, as well as a Twitch stream and some other places where he's pretty big in the pinball community, going to tournaments, doing some coverage. So Tom is no
Yep.
joke, and I love talking to next level people, and he shared even something before the stream that I want to get to in a little bit. He's ranked worldly as a top, close to top 50 pinball player in the world. Like, think
Yes.
about that. Like, at that world rankings for anything, to be on a top 100 list is an amazing accomplishment. And I'm talking to one of the best pinball players in the world, and you guys are talking to him right now. So definitely check him out. So Tom, what is Fox Cities Pinball? Where did that name come from, and what is it?
So the name came, it's basically where I live. So I live in the Fox Cities in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I live in Appleton,
Mm-hmm.
which is part of the Fox Cities. So
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for a name, and it actually started as our pinball league.
Mm-hmm.
And I run with one of my friends, Eric, the Fox Cities Pinball League. And I was looking for a name, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to call it Fox Cities Pinball Stream. That's easy enough.
Simple, simple, and that's what it came to. So you started, but you do coverage too. So not only are you a player, you actually cover
Yes.
the entire scene. And is there a big scene in the Fox cities in Wisconsin, or are you traveling
In
all over the country?
in the last 3 years, it has grown significantly around
Interesting.
here.
Yeah.
It went from
Hmm.
I couldn't find a pinball machine for an hour and a half unless you went to some private collector's
Hmm.
basement, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's their bars have them. Like I was telling you before we went live, there's a place where I stream at called District 82 Pinball,
Yeah.
and they have over 100 pinball machines there and hold tournaments.
Let's pull it up. Look at this. So
Yeah,
this is District A2. Like, just look at this picture. I mean, it looks like a dream world there. But you go to this location, and this is where a lot of your tournaments are held, and you do coverage for it.
correct.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about like what you cover on your other streams. So this is a
Sure.
sample location that you go to. I have here a Fox Cities Pinball YouTube channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, so this is a sample of almost 3 hours of coverage. So if I'm playing this and just showing some sample video, like what is it that we're watching this setup, or is it the play field? DMD, the person that's playing,
Yep.
rankings, like how is this set up? Like this is unique for me to see this.
Yep, and right there, the basically those are the players playing at this time. So
Okay.
it says player one, Brett Derby.
Mhm.
So he's playing right now, and some of us would be commentating on it as far as what's going on.
Oh, play by play for pinball. So like I know you can probably hear yourself in the background, but give me a sample of like what a true play by play what pinball would
Okay.
be. Because I'm familiar with like sports play by play. I've dabbled in the fighting game community of play by play as we're fighting. And my boy Rev does some awesome play commenting, but you're like, oh, she got that right flipper. He's flipping in like all these techniques. Like I want to hear the inside scoop of how you would
I'm
call this.
I'm definitely a color commentary guy. I
Okay.
don't. I mean, I guess I give more a little bit play by play. But what he's doing right now,
Hmm.
he's trying to get control, which he did on the right flipper,
Hmm.
and he's looking. Basically, he's setting up his next shot. So he's trying to go for the ramp.
Hmm.
What you want to do is you'll see some flashing lights, and you
Hmm.
want to spell the numbers that are up on the display right to the left of the ramp.
Hmm.
And once you do that, you can lock a ball to get multi-ball.
So how
So
how much do you have to know and research a table before you jump into a tournament like this? Because like you were just mentioning one of the rules that probably will score points on this table. So for tournament play, I mean
if
that's so important. You're not just flipping balls randomly, of course,
if
right?
you're going to a local tournament,
Hmm.
you need a little bit of knowledge, but
Hmm.
some of it you can pick up on the fly.
Yeah.
Um, but if you're going to a high level tournament,
Hmm.
you really need to know what you're doing, the rules on the machine, how to
Hmm.
start multi balls, how to get points, that sort of thing.
Ah, so cool. So I mean, so this coverage is again ongoing, and as he came and left, so is it pretty much a time slot that people
Yep.
kind of
So
come in? Okay.
his ball drains. So now the next player's coming up to play.
Oh, so it's like one ball at a time. Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay, cool. Okay,
Yep.
cool. So it's almost like it's that real competitive spirit where you can see what they got on their first ball and then move to the next person. Oh,
Correct.
is that how tournaments usually work, where you have them
Yep.
kind of lined up?
Yep.
Oh,
Most tournaments. Yep.
oh, okay. And so he drained already, and then and then the
He,
next
yep.
person.
Yep. He had what we call a bad ball.
Yeah. Oh, that's
uh,
happened for me. Like when I started playing, I was like, I just started and it just fell down there. So I mean,
yep.
there's
You
so much
t-
technique.
there's a lot of skill and technique with pinball. It's definitely a skill game.
Yeah,
You want to really control the ball, try to slow it down, and aim for your shots and hit them.
yeah.
And knowing, as Sheldon showing you right here,
Hmm.
he's just trying to get control. He just hit the scoop, and
Mhm.
he's starting a multi-ball right now. The game gave him what's called a quick multi-ball, which will be a two-ball multi-ball.
Nice.
And yeah,
S-
yeah,
Wow. So like this table specifically, when you're
yes.
playing like this table versus modern tables, right? Is like how much do you know what's happening? Like, is it mostly just the flashing lights that you know what to hit? Is that because like I'm playing my new Star Wars Stern pinball and like with the
Yes.
full DMD with the screen, it pretty much tells you exactly what you need to do, right? But for older pinball machines, it's mostly whatever is flashing and reading the rules. Is that right? I'm kind
Yes
of
and
getting
no.
better
I
at it.
mean, this era. So right now you can see that green flashing arrow.
Hmm.
Basically, the game wants you to shoot that.
Yeah.
So let's see if he can do it.
Oh, he's like such control of his multi-ball. When I get like two balls, I'm just like blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
So what he's trying
Cool.
to do, there's a red saucer just to the middle left, which is the ball just went into, and he's
Oh
trying to hit
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. I
ramp, which he
see.
just hit, and he
Yeah.
got 250,000 points for hitting that shot.
Oh, nice.
So he's trying to just continually do that in this
Hmm.
multi-ball.
Oh, that's cool. There's so much. This is some good skill. Do you have gameplay of like
Yes.
yourself playing too on some of your
Yes.
channels and Twitches things?
Yep. So
'Cause-
I have a lot
yeah.
of the newer games.
Okay.
Like I have Avengers Infinity Quest, I have Guns N'
Hmm.
Roses, Led
Hmm.
Zeppelin, Turtles, the new Turtles game by Stern.
Oh, so
Uh,
here's like a Guns N' Roses gameplay, for example,
yep.
from your channel, right? Oh, nice. Look at
Yeah.
you.
So
Oh, look at you all
this one,
fancy.
yeah, this one I have my friend Matt McCarty, who's also a tournament pinball player, and my son
Hmm.
Neil. We were this was an actual Twitch stream that
Uh-huh.
we did, and I just imported it into YouTube.
Yes. Nice. Look at that. So, I mean, is this at your house then that you were just
Yes,
doing the stream?
right
Oh,
here.
so fancy. Right behind you. I mean,
Yep.
look at this. So, I mean, so do you want to see some real good gameplay and you want to get knowing what to do, how to get good? Because pinball, the world is deep. And I thought me as a casual pinball fan, and truly the word casual was when I went to the arcade, pinballs for me were something that were nice, but they were just so expensive for
Yes.
being a bad pinball player, right? I never thought I got my value of putting in $1 and then draining really fast. So I
See,
don't think I could get an appreciation for it
and
until yeah.
and for myself,
Hmm.
as far as pinball goes, you can get what are called matches or replays.
Hmm.
And if you're a good enough player, you can, whatever it is, 50 cents a dollar, put your dollar in, play
Yeah.
the game. And if you get that replay value, you get a free game.
Yep.
So you can continue to play, which is nice. Whereas, some of the arcade games, you're dumping quarters into it to try
You're
to
done.
continue on. You know.
You're done. You're done. You're done. But
Yep.
I mean, I guess it depends on your skill level and what you want to do. And I was
Correct.
always attracted to the IPs, the attractive pinball versions of a movie or a game or something that I recognize, right? And
Yep.
so as you've picked out which pinball tables you've owned, do you have kind of themes of what you collect? Because there's many pinball tables you could collect, but what are you most attracted to? Are you attracted I saw some people
So
mentioning your music collection was awesome.
yeah, so I'm a big hard rock, classic rock fan.
Hmm.
So a lot of those games I
Hmm.
I tend to get superheroes.
Hmm.
I have X-Men behind me.
Nice.
And then just themes I like. Spooky Pinball put out Rick and Morty,
Hmm.
which is a show on Cartoon Network. I absolutely love that pinball machine. So a lot of it has to do with theme.
The theme.
Some of the older games, it's the artwork and things like that.
What's the most classic game that you have in your collection?
So I have, I think it's a 1972, but I could be wrong on the year.
Hmm.
But it's from the 70s. It's a high hand. It's an
Okay.
electromechanical, so it's all switches and gears. make the game work,
And
basically.
for the first time ever, Tom is gonna give us a tour of his pinball
Yes,
museum. So I asked him if you've done this on his channel, which you should. You should record this,
I
Tom,
I
and put
should.
some
I'm just
content out there.
lazy.
And I'm pushing it. I'm like, Tom, come join my channel for the last like couple of weeks. I'm like, I need content, but I mean, this is super cool. So definitely stay tuned because we're gonna do a full walk around and you guys could ask questions, see his amazing collection. I think it's awesome. Got a
Absolutely.
couple of folks in here. I forgot to say hi to the chat because chat's here asking some
Hi,
questions.
chat.
Brad O'Connell's here. He's always here talking about how his experience. Third floor, Jace Arcade with Jason. Jason, by the way, I messaged you on Facebook. I want to get with you and have you join a stream for me in the future. So check it out if you haven't. I sent you a message, brother, because I want to get with you. But Jason says I'm addicted to Super Breakout. So there's some other stuff going on. I think there was a question up here too that I want to get back to. Somebody was asking
Sure.
about Tom, how do you decide one pinball machine? I want to buy one, but can't possibly decide on which one. So for me, like I felt like I could only afford and fit one in my home arcade, and so many things are out there. I was like, what's the big one of the biggest IPs I feel like I can get my most bang for the buck, which is why I went for Star Wars because anybody that comes
Sure.
to my house is going to recognize it and play it. But for if you had advice for any of these folks that may be looking at pinball,
Sure.
what would you give some advice to people that wanted to pick something out?
I would say a couple things. One is, obviously stay within your budget. I mean,
Mhm.
these things, the older games you can find for cheaper. You're talking anywhere from a couple $100 to roughly a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
And then the price goes, up based on how collectible it is, what
Mhm.
year it was made, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, the newer games are more expensive. You can spend anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 on them.
What's the most expensive game you've bought? You're allowed
The
to say.
most expensive game I bought is the Guns N' Roses behind me.
What was the price tag? Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, I can say it. I think it was 9,500.
So
That's a lot.
still under 10 grand
Still
though.
under
So
10.
okay,
Yeah, and
good. So
it's a limited edition.
yeah,
There is a collector's edition. They only made 500 of them.
yeah.
Those sold out in like 3 or 4 hours, and those went for, I believe, 12 and a half or 12,500.
Yeah, because I was surprised because some of the LEs and even some of the premiums are close to like 8,000-9,000 for the newish ones, right? So the
Yep.
fact that you're still under 10,000 is surprising for all the ones that you have. But
Yep.
are there any that have retained value that are over that price point now? Like, what's the most valuable machine you
Uh,
think you would have? Is it still the Guns
it's
N'
a
Roses?
great question. Probably my Tron LE. So my Tron
Mhm.
LE, I did not buy new. I actually traded somebody for it.
Mhm.
And I'd say at the time the value was about $6,000.
Mhm.
They go anywhere from like 12,000 to 25,000.
Wow, so you doubled your
So
value in it. That's cool.
yeah,
All right, and
yeah.
so for folks that don't know the terminology, LE is limited edition. So for
Correct.
many of
Sorry.
the newer pinball tables, I'm learning this because I didn't know. I'm like a pinball noob. I'm like, I thought all the tables are the same. Nope, they're not the same. They're thousands of dollars apart, and there's very many different features because I have the Star Wars Pro model, which I'm showing that's in my system, which is a step up from the base model, which doesn't have the full DMD. So
Correct.
is Stern the only one that does that Pro Premium Limited, or is that standard across all the other pins?
It's becoming more standard. At
Okay.
first, Stern was the only one doing that,
Mhm.
and a lot of the other companies are kind of following suit now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so,
It kind of
but
makes sense to like know what level you're getting at, right?
it
And then it
it
gives you
does.
general
It
relative
and
value.
honestly, there's no. I mean, I own a bunch of Stern, just the pro games.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with just buying the base model.
Thank you for making me feel better because I feel FOMO every day. Every time I see a premium ramp that goes all fancy with the hyper spin loops and the metal things, and I'm like, damn it, why
you
didn't I get a premium?
yeah, you don't always need the bells and whistles. And actually, when I owned that game, I did own the pro.
Oh, did you?
So, yep,
Yeah, cool. Good
yep,
to know. Yeah, it's a fantastic game, and so there's so many designs for pinballs. And so I want to ask you a couple more questions before we get to
sure.
the tour, because as a new pinball owner, one of the things that most people have a conception about is pinballs are hard to maintain. Not only are they expensive, but long term, if you don't have the knowledge to fix it, you might have a multi-thousand-dollar brick. And so, do you do all your maintenance on your machines?
I do most of it, yes.
Yeah.
Only like the really hard board repair stuff. I would send that off. And we're
Mhm.
talking major stuff, but
Mhm.
I do repair some of my own boards.
Yeah.
Um, it's just it when I bought that first pinball machine, I learned very quickly that I was gonna have to fix
Did
these
the
games
did
myself.
data use Batman? Like, what was the most common
Yes.
thing that broke on those older ones? Was it just flipper, rubber replacements, and
Yeah, I mean everything breaks to be honest. When you're dealing with mechanical stuff,
Mhm,
things break down, and usually it's simple stuff. Usually it's a spring that broke on the game,
mhm,
or a switch that needs adjusting or goes bad.
mhm.
Those things are relatively easy to fix, and
How
they're
about the newer
readily available.
how about the newer Stern ones that you have? Have you had anything already kind of go bad on those? Because I've heard and read, at least with the modern ones, they've tried to reduce the number of mechanical things that can break down. So, what do I
Even
need to look
even
out
the
for?
newer stuff will break.
Damn it.
So
Okay. I know who to call. I know I have a guy now. At least I can
yeah,
somewhat kick ass now.
absolutely. If and anybody out there, if
Yeah,
you
there's
need advice or if
Mhm.
you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. That's not a
Yeah.
problem. I might not get back to you for like a day or two, but I will get back to you.
Yeah, that's awesome to know that there's a good community out there. And so with you said that pinball fandom has grown in the last couple years. Is
Yeah.
do you think it's what do you think that's due? Is it because of the resurgence of virtual pinball being more commercialized? Like people like
I,
me that are rediscovering it? Like
I think that's some of it. I think COVID really
pandemic? Yeah.
yeah, the pandemic.
Mhm.
It's hilarious because I mean, pinball was doing well before the pandemic,
Mhm.
but once the pandemic hit, it was like the manufacturers kind of stopped making games,
Yeah.
and now everybody wants them. So it's harder to get the games now,
Yeah. That's true.
and they're backlogged.
Mm.
The Guns N' Roses machine behind me, that is way backlogged. And some of the newer Stern titles, they're behind on those. It's amazing. Just the demand for pinball machines right now is crazy.
Yeah, it's no joke because people weren't going anywhere traveling, so people had extra money. They were like, "All right, I've always wanted a pinball machine. Go ahead." So
Yep.
it's a big commitment, and I thought Arcade One Ups was going to be like my limit at one point. Ha ha ha! A year and a half ago, when I started my mini YouTube channel, I was saying like, "I got an Arcade One Up. I'm solid. I put a Raspberry Pi in it. I'm done." And then
Yep.
a year and a half later, I spent $6,000 on a pinball machine that I still can't believe that I'm already thinking about getting another one. Right, if Mrs. Kongzerus is watching, I'm not. Don't worry, nothing's gonna be in the works unless something
are,
amazing happens.
are
But
you enjoying it?
I am like every night I'm playing it just to learn a
Yeah.
little bit more about it because I mean I'm also tinkering a lot with my virtual pinball machine. So I have a Legends pinball and an Arcade One Up pinball. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of to the side. So this is my Arcade One Up pinball that's behind me that I had to move into my room to make
Gotcha.
space for my Star Wars one. So that one eventually, sadly, I've mentioned it on a previous stream, is gonna go away. I have the big Star Wars one, so I don't need the smaller Star Wars one. It served its purpose at the time. It was my first pinball machine in my house that got me into just playing in that physical somewhat of a table. But I remember I think what really sold me, like planting the seed of getting a pinball machine, was my last arcade pickup. I went to go pick up a Star Wars pod racer that I won at Captain's Auctions Warehouse, which is a big pinball auction warehouse in Los Angeles
Yep.
area, right? And then I got to go to the showroom and I was playing some of the tables and I was just like, there's just something different and magical because I was rediscovering the classics like Monster Bash and Medieval Madness, and then I played the real versions and I'm like, okay, I can get why they recreated it, but there's just nothing like hitting the castle ramp and having it fall and just seeing it and the lights and flashing. It's just, you can't
Yeah,
replicate that. As much as visual pinball can do, you
yep.
still can't quite get there.
It's the physics and the
Mhm.
kinetic energy and
Yeah.
just the feel of it. You just can't get it with the video.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
try to replicate it with solenoids and things like that, but it's not the same.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the whole point. So I have one virtual pinball table that I plan to keep because I don't think I'll be able to get 30, 40 pinball tables in my house, Tom. Not everybody's a Tom.
And
Not
there's
everybody's
no shame in that at all.
Absolutely. You are an exception, my friend. But for virtual pinball, it serves its purpose, right? Because you can
Yeah.
play on the tables and still have fun and enjoy it. And there's some great virtual pinball tables out there that'll give you that experience. So I think it's great. Like, I think the virtual pinball community, has seen a lot more people
Absolutely.
into it grow. It's introducing it back into the real pinball community too. It's
Yep.
made fans like me that are trying to discover stuff and not just flip stuff.
If it
So
wasn't for virtual pinball,
mhm.
I wouldn't have all these pinball machines.
That's true. That's true. Somebody was saying they have a WWF Data East pinball table. That's
Oh, that's
awesome.
great. Yep.
Yeah. Retro
Royal
Steve.
Rumble.
Retro Steve's talking about
Yeah.
Pinside. Do you frequent the
Yes.
Pinside community website? So
Yes.
yeah.
I am Tom G. Wisconsin on Pinside.
Cool. Yeah. I actually was looking up a thread about Star Wars modding on Pinside. So I was reading through that just to see what else is going on. Somebody asked about an electrical line. What kind of electrical line do you have? Was that question?
I
Does that
guess
ring a
I'm
bell?
not sure.
Maybe it's
No.
just, well, how much is your electricity bill then? Are you just
Oh,
running everything off of one giant power strip in your house? Do you just say, Alexa, turn on my
y-
pinball machines? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you get everything
no,
on?
I have outlets everywhere. Yeah, you wanna have some 15 amp breakers for these things, you know.
Yeah.
Uh if they're going all the time and
Mhm.
they're being played simultaneously,
Yeah.
you want to make sure you have juice, otherwise you're going to be tripping breakers.
I can imagine. How often do you turn them all on? Did you turn them all on just for the today's stream?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I typically no. I mean, unless I'm having people over,
Yeah.
my league over,
Yeah.
I'll just obviously go up to a machine, turn it on, and play it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then
Absolutely.
it
That
goes
makes
off
sense.
after that.
Brad asked, what's the best way to buy a machine? Is it through auction sites like I did? Is it going through retailers for brand new ones? Like, and you've done some trades too, so it sounds like you have local
Yeah.
people.
So, a good website is Pinside. You
Mhm.
can go on there and see what's for sale. You do have to be careful on the pricing. You want to make sure you're getting a fairly good price. Auctions are okay. Like I heard, I saw your video of when you went to the captain's auction, and you're like, man, I didn't realize there was like an 18% markup or whatever it was. But yeah, it's one of those things that when you buy from an auction house, you're going to have that, and
Yeah.
then probably tax on top of it. So what I normally do is Pinside or Craigslist
Mhm.
or just people in the community too.
And that
And
you can check
then,
it out. Yeah.
yep. And then for newer games, I go to distributors.
Mhm.
So I have a couple distributors. One is Flippin' Out Pinball, who's Zach and Nicole Many. They are
Mhm.
awesome.
Cool.
And right here in Wisconsin, Kingpin Games. Chris, either of those distributors, I'd highly recommend.
Nice. Cool.
So.
Bill Wright asked, do you have the Rocky 3 pinball machine that was in the movie? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, actually, they made that up for the movie.
Mhm.
There is a Rocky pinball machine made by Gottlieb,
Oh yeah.
but I do not have it.
He doesn't have it all, Bill. Doesn't have it all. I'm sure you might.
I wish I did, but
Yeah.
I'd need a airplane hangar.
What's your most favorite pinball in your collection?
Probably Spider-Man.
Oh,
Spider-Man was
interesting.
the first game I bought new in box.
Hell yeah.
It's just, and I love the movies, the
Mhm.
Sam Raimi movies with
Mhm.
Tobey Maguire. So that one's a little special to me.
Nice. Very cool. Good to know. Zach says that he got his the best your Deadpool from them. So
Oh,
Zach is the
cool.
best.
Zach
Is
is
that
the
one of?
best. Yeah. So
Oh,
Zach,
okay.
yeah, from Flipping Out Pinball.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it. So Retro Steve, you're part of the pinball community. Thanks for joining the show. You must know each other. You must know Tom because Tom, look, I'm going to the website now. I'm showing it. Look at this. The IFPA, International Flipper Pinball Association.
So
Am I
go to players. Yeah. Well, if you go
here?
to players,
Okay.
yeah, up at the top, and
Players. Here
then
it is.
do a search,
Okay.
and then put my name and Tom Graff.
The 1F?
Yep.
There it is.
There I am, 57th.
57th. He's 57th. He's the top 60 player in the world.
Oh.
Holy wow. So what's the gap between like the top player and you? Is it a point system ranking? Like how do these points get assigned?
Yeah, so basically you play in tournaments and you can
Mhm.
see the tournaments there.
Yeah.
But tournaments, leagues, that sort of
Mhm.
thing, and you get points based on who you play and how many players and the type of
Yeah.
tournament. So
Look at that.
yep,
Fancy. Well,
yep.
cool. Congratulations. We are talking
Thanks.
to world ranking first place champion of the Title Talent Pinball Twice a Month tournament. That's so awesome, Tom, to be at least recognized at that level. So, I mean, I guess pinball is a huge part of your life. And, you know, not only are you going to District 82, you also mentioned this is your Twitch channel for folks that want to watch him live on Twitch. I think there's more content on Twitch than there is on YouTube. Is this a better place to follow you more regularly?
Yeah, that's where I normally go live. So I'll
Okay.
go live if I'm streaming at my house, I'll go
Mhm.
live, or if I'm going on a location, which is normally District 82 Pinball.
Yeah.
And that's where I do a lot of tournament streams.
Nice.
In fact, we have 2 coming up in August, on August 7th and August 28th.
Mhm.
And then we have a 4-day, 6 tournaments called the Super Pinball Series.
Mhm. This is your schedule that you have coming up, right? That you were just mentioning.
Yep.
Cool.
And it says I'm getting a Mandalorian limited edition
Look at
pinball, so
you.
I'll be streaming that when it decides to come. So.
Fancy. Why LE for that one? When you buy new, do you usually get the limited editions?
I normally, it just depends. It depends on how I'm feeling about the title. The Mandalorian theme kind of grabbed me, and I really wanted to get the limited edition on that one.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, man, I already have FOMO getting the regular Star Wars one. But I think I was just saying that about every new shiny pinball table. All right, and then you also said you have a podcast that you do regularly too, right?
Yes. We actually just started a few months ago, but it's called the Triple Drain Pinball Podcast.
Yeah. Cool.
And I do that with we're on what's called the Pinball Network. It's a bunch of Twitch streamers and also a lot of podcasters that talk about pinball. So if you're interested in that, the podcasts are on the Pinball Network .net. And then basically on Twitch, if you go to my channel, I follow all the streamers that are on the Pinball Network. So
nice. So this is Tom and Joel and Travis doing the Triple Drain Pinball Podcast. So this is a traditional podcast. If you're a pinhead, is that what you call pinball fans? I don't know.
Pretty much.
Pinhead. Are you a pinhead?
I guess.
If you're a pinball fan and you want to listen to Tom talk more pinball, check out the Triple Drain Podcast, as well as his Twitch stream, his YouTube channel, his ranking. If you want to, we're talking all about Tom. But all right, enough of promoting all the stuff that you do, which is amazing. I think we're ready to see the tour. I think we're ready to get up out of the chair. We're gonna switch cameras. I'm gonna have him get to his mobile device, which is again the first exclusive Fox Cities Pinball tour of his house. I mean, this is cool. I'm glad that I got the exclusive with Tom. So this is pretty neat. And there's a couple of requests. Somebody's asking to play the maiden table.
Oh, I can try. I'll have to do it one-handed, but I'll try.
At least you can have it running. Oh, that's a new challenge. Is there such a thing as a one-handed pinball challenge?
Actually, there are some tournaments that do that.
No way. There's a one-handed pinball challenge. That's so funny. That's so crazy.
Actually, it's a good way to get. It's basically a good way to not flail.
Uh-huh.
because you learn when the ball's coming down and hits the flippers, it'll usually bounce over to
The
the
other
other
side.
flipper, depending
Uh,
on how it hits it.
all right, we're gonna test Tom's one-handed channel. What's
Oh
somebody asked the
God.
oldest machine? That was the 72 table you were talking about, right? We mentioned that
Yes.
earlier. Okay.
Yep.
What was it? 72 what?
High hand.
High hand. That's
I'll
the
show
oldest
you.
table.
I'll show that first.
All right, let's do it. Let's get it. Let's
All
switch it
right.
over. All right, I'm gonna take Tom off of this one. He's gonna switch over to the biggest, his fancy cell phone camera that we have. I will put on while he's doing that as well. This is my stream, my pinball table. I'll walk over there later on because I have some final questions for Tom about modding it. If you hadn't seen, I added this Millennium Falcon in there. I'm doing over some stuff. So Tom, give me a thumbs up on your cell phone camera when you're ready. All right. All right. So do you want to flip your cell phone camera around? So here we go. I can see you now. There it is. All right. You're good. Can you talk to us?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
There it is. Perfect.
So this is my high hand pinball machine.
Nice. Very good. Let's see if I can make Tom big and me small. There it is. Yeah.
So yeah, this is definitely the oldest one in my collection.
Is that more like bells and whistles and like for the rules, it's pretty simplified?
Here, I'll play it a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of clings and things.
Ding, ding, dings.
Oh.
Ding, ding, dings. Nice.
So there I am playing one-handed.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so Retro Steve says if this collection doesn't have the Lethal Weapon 3, sorry, he's out.
That is at District 82, though.
Is it? So you've played it, right? So
oh yeah, I've played it quite a bit.
Chris is saying great stream. He's got you hooked on a real pinball. Tom Garrett really wants to see that Iron Maiden table because he's seen them live 14 times.
Well, that's
in
my back room. So
oh, is it? We'll get over it. So you have multiple rooms. They're not all in one. How many rooms do you have that have pinball tables then?
3 rooms.
You have 3 rooms. So what do you call this room then? Is this your main basement room or is it?
I call this the quiet room because
Okay.
I can't hear my kids like running around upstairs or my wife yelling at me. This is my mecca, you know.
You need to get in here and just relax and just be in your pinball zen mode, right?
Pretty
Very
much.
cool.
Pretty much.
Nice. All right, let's see. Let's go through the row so we can see what's next. All right.
Okay, so this is another old machine. This is called Paragon. This is a wide body game.
Nice.
So hard to see, but there we go.
And all of them are like 100% working, or any of them like in the quote unquote shop? Like where you have to
everything's pretty much working. Occasionally
That's
you
awesome.
get something that you didn't realize was working and working, and then it's just time to fix it. But yeah, they all work. These are play fields from my games. I actually took
that's awesome.
Yeah, I took these out and put new play fields. There are manufacturers that make these that you can swap into your games and make them brand new, basically.
Oh wow! And is that LEDs that are still blinking in them too?
No, that's just the reflection.
Oh, it's just a reflection. I was about to say, it's like you have them mounted and you have the LEDs going on in them. That's crazy. Okay, all right, that's just reflection. That's too fancy. That's a really cool mod.
This is I'll show this game in a minute, but this is the banner I got from flipping out pinball for the game.
Fancy.
Yep.
All right, we got about 15 minutes left, so we want to get through stuff and finish up with some questions.
No problem. Rick and Morty Pinball Machine.
Nice, beautiful, beautiful.
And we'll come over here to X-Men.
There's a couple of X machines, right, that came out. Is that a Sentinel topper?
That is a like an aftermarket mod.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a Magneto.
Magneto. Cool.
So they did a Magneto version, limited edition, and they did a Wolverine.
Nice, very cool.
And then Guns N' Roses. It might yell at me as I go by because there's an actual camera in it sometimes. This is the Avengers Infinity Quest LE.
Nice, very cool. Love that. So are these all Stern? Do you have them organized by any manufacturers at all?
Necessarily. So Guns N' Roses is Jersey Jack Pinball.
Okay.
And, that's Spooky Pinball.
Okay.
the rest of these that I'm going to show you are stern in this room.
Got it. Very cool.
So Led Zeppelin.
Woot woot.
This is the limited edition of Tron Legacy.
Oh, that's the Tron LE you're talking about? Very nice. Yeah. Is that an official topper on top too? Is that like a light cycle, or is that just...
That's an aftermarket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I will ask you a little bit about aftermarket modding stuff at the end of the stream, but let's keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Star Trek. Cool.
Limited edition. It has the lighted rails when they go off. I'll show you on the side here.
Oh, nice. Who needs addressable LEDs when you got light up rails?
This is The Walking Dead. This is an aftermarket. Somebody did special artwork that
Backglass? Yeah.
The backglass.
Yeah, nice.
That's the pro version, and it's got the topper.
Nice, nice.
And then this is AC/DC Premium.
Nice, very cool. Somebody was asking if you do have any Star Wars. You did have the pro version that I have, but right now, do you have any other Star Wars machines or no?
I do not.
So just incoming Mandalorian that's coming soon. Do you already have space for it? Do you already like have it prepped and ready, like where it's gonna go?
Not yet.
So soon. We have another Iron Maiden fan. Rich Odello says he's seen them 20 times. Tom Garrett. So he's topped you by watching them 20 times. So we got a lot of Iron Maiden fans. They're curious. They want to see it.
All right, we're getting to it.
Yeah.
This is Iron Man.
Nice.
And Spider-Man, which I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. So our Akuma Rev, one of the guys that's in the stream, he has an X-Men pinball machine as well. But are your LEs, are they limited? Are they signed? Is that how you know they're limited?
This one is signed. So if you look on the play field, I don't know if I'm...
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, you can see the signature there.
Cool.
So, yep.
Nice.
Limited editions on are signed.
Yes.
And this is Jurassic Park Pro.
Very cool.
Willy Wonka. This is the standard edition, and I added a mod in here, which is called Pin Stadiums. The game was very dark, so the Pin Stadiums go on the side and light it up more.
Nice.
And then this is the Game of Thrones limited edition.
Oh, cool.
So, and then I got some more banners. I have Beatles and Guns N' Roses.
What a dream house, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, I see an arcade one up. You did the big screen mod.
Yeah, I learned how to mod that from this guy.
Yeah, woohoo. Geek Worm. Bigger is better.
Right. Bigger is better. Yeah. This is Metallica.
Oh, that's huge. Nice.
And
maybe it's just compared to, what's the one next to it?
This one?
Yeah.
This is Harlem Globetrotters. So this one I restored the playfield on. I completely stripped it, put a new playfield in, put all the parts back on.
Nice. Rev says that's a legit version. Cool. Somebody's saying that they want the Tron. Chris has a question too that I'll get to in a second. But this is the Turtle Stern.
Yep, this is Turtle Stern. This is the Pro Edition.
So speaking of the different editions, there's like a regular edition that's just the pinball, that's not the Pro, right? Because Chris is saying he's thinking about getting a new Star Wars pin, brand new for Stern for $4,500, but that's like the non-Pro price, right? That's the one without the DMD.
Yep, that's what's called the Home Edition.
Home Edition. Okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on those?
They're not bad. I mean, for me, I like the commercial pins better. But I've played actually the Star Wars pin in a tournament, and I liked it. It played well.
You weren't missing the nice full DMD with everything in the background and stuff. You can get that from the mini one.
Well, it's still a pinball machine to me. So
it's still a pinball machine. So yeah, to your point, Chris, it's back in stock. If that's your price point and range, go for it. Right? I think the Pro models just give you that extra full DMD in the back, and then premiums are extra couple dollars. So it's up to you.
The game plays a lot different. So
yeah, is it okay?
Yeah, if you can afford, the extra money, I would go with what you have, which is the Pro version. But
at least the Pro, yeah.
If you can't afford it, get the pin.
Get what you can do. That's right. Cool. Yep. So whatever you can afford and whatever you're gonna have fun with. So you're gonna enjoy it no matter what. Don't just to be FOMO like me after seeing Tom's pinball machines and be like, oh, I can't just have one now. Like this is gonna inspire me. So keep going.
So this is these are my Bally Williams pens. So this is Jack
Nice.
Whitewater
Mm-hmm. Nice.
and Creature from the Black Lagoon, and I have a DMD clock above it.
Got some classics here. Is that an Adams Family?
Yep.
Cool. Is that? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Indianapolis 500.
Nice.
And then the Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fishtails.
Cool.
So, and then we're going to come over here. I have an older game called Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
These games usually have really blown out play fields, and this is a really nice one.
Nice. I feel like since you're vertical, I wonder if I do this, it's like the same. Okay, no, I still want to feature you this way. All right, there you go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Should I go this way then?
Well, whatever shows the pin more. It's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then my Medieval Madness.
Ooh, fun.
Attack from Mars.
Those are like the must-have classics, right? I mean, if you're gonna have a pin collection, were those like on your list at some point? Like you have to get them.
Yep. This game is a lot of tournament players like, which is Bram Stoker's Dracula. There's stackable multi-balls.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones.
Ooh, that's my son's favorite. When we go to the Pinball Museum in Las Vegas, he just likes it because it has the gun launcher. So
this is the pin I get asked most about. When are you selling it?
Really? Is it like one of the most like sought afters?
It's pretty collectible.
Oh, very cool. How much do you think that value would be?
It's gone up quite a bit. I would say usually they're about 8,000 to 10,000. They might be
nice.
That.
Nice. Very cool. Somebody says, Tom Garrett says, I kind of want the Stern heavy metal table. Do you have a heavy metal?
I do.
Do not. Someone's asking if you have the Last Action Hero table.
I
do not. He doesn't have them all. He has 40 of them. But
I do play it a lot. District 82 has it. So
nice. Very cool.
So, and then this is another spooky pinball machine called Total Nuclear Annihilation.
Oh, nice.
So this one's pretty cool. The lights, the sound is amazing on it. So, and then we do our other room here. I got my
dartboard.
P-dubs,
eat your heart out.
I got my lit up translate here, which is pretty.
Nice.
I also have. There used to be a big tournament called Pinburg, and the very last one before COVID, I won the B division.
First place
won
championship.
Won $4,000.
Nice. That's not bad. That's a pinball machine right there. So
exactly.
Could be. Somebody asked if you have Funhouse. Is that something right in your collection?
I have Funhouse. But it's a great table. These are my last 4 games, unfortunately. So, so this is Stranger Things.
Ooh, nice! I love the Stranger Things table. That was really fun when I played it at Captain's. I liked it a lot.
And Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
And the game everybody's been asking for.
Iron Maiden. Wow.
And last but not least, Deadpool.
Nice. So, I mean, how often do you move your pinball tables? Because, like, it feels like you probably have something, but I'm like, oh, they should go together. You could probably put them a little bit more together, but I mean, space is an issue.
Not that often.
Not that often. They just kind of go.
Yeah.
They're going to replace.
Right.
Cool.
And then I have, my Star Wars cab.
Star Wars, there it is. Woohoo! That's what we're working on. That's the Kongs R Us mod that we got that Tom reached out for me earlier on. So we'll get it going. It's working at some level. We're just having some other front end issues, if you will. But it's cool to see it in your room, man. I love it. It's so amazing that you got.
Translate for your game.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's the original one.
Yep.
You just got up. Oh, that's so cool. I gotta light up my wall too. I need more wall decorations. All right, people want to see some one-handed flipping maiden. Let's go. Let's see it. Let's see how well you are. Let's see. We'll document the Tom Graff world record of one-handed flipping balls.
Can you see the screen?
I can see the screen. Yeah. So we
Okay.
just won't see the score, but at least we can see the playfield, which is cool.
All right, here we go.
There it is.
Easier said than done.
While holding a phone at the same time. So he's going left. He's going right. He's going anywhere the ball goes. Is it going up? Is it going down? He's drained the ball. He's
Terrible.
lost it. He's terrible. That's all right. So he's ball number 2. Let's see what he can do. I'm trying to do my best Tom Graff impersonation, but I haven't watched much of your streams. But this is how I would call pinball. Look at the ball go. It's going up. It's going down. It's going left. It's going right. There's the right flipper. He's catching the ball in the right flipper, looking for a ram shot. He's trying to get up there. And oh man, it goes fast. I bet when you're watching too, when cameras are on the real play field, like you can see more of the field, right? The way the cameras are set up.
Yeah, and plus I have my phone in my face, which isn't helping.
So you can see what you're doing. That was cool. So what makes a great pinball table? Are you looking for features, speed of the ball, kind of like the play elements? Like what do you like in a pinball table?
It's just got to have everything in it. Me. So like for Iron Maiden, I love Iron Maiden. It's got a nice layout. The lighting is amazing. Obviously, the music fits the theme, and just the modes and things and multi-balls are just really fun to play.
Nice.
So, the more features and things, the better.
Yeah.
The more accessible the shots are, the better too. So
nice.
One more go on ball 3 here.
Ball 3. Let's go. Let's see it.
All
Tom
right.
Phone's gonna set that documented. Do you have a high scoreboard somewhere in your house, or do you just kind of leave it on the tables?
I don't, just leave it on the tables.
Yeah. Do you own the high scores on all your tables, or does your son have some of them?
Oh no, my son has some, definitely.
Yeah.
He's becoming a better player than I am.
Oh, is he ranked yet? Is he gonna get up there?
He's in the upper 250s, I think.
Nice.
I was hoping I could start multi-ball here.
One-handed multi-ball would be fun. Let's see if Tom can do it.
Let's see if I can. So one thing yeah, that's cool. One thing you gotta learn is to shake the machine.
Yeah.
And kind of manipulate the ball.
Yeah.
The tilt bob in there, but depending on how tight it is.
Yeah.
Getting the ball to go where you want it to.
Nice. All right, so we're hitting close to our hour mark. I want you to show me what the favorite mod that you've done on any of your machines that's an aftermarket thing, because I'm starting to get into wanting to do aftermarket mods. So I mean, doing those aftermarket mods add value because they're so expensive depending on what it is, or does it actually devalue it because it's
not
up there?
Add value. I mean, you can go over the top with it. So you don't want to do that, but like this is a cool touch. So normally this doesn't light up.
Oh, nice.
Goodbye to light it up, basically.
Yeah.
EL paper. So that's a cool one. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Can you see the video screen inside of?
Yeah. That's aftermarket. Throwing that in with the.
So there was a guy called Mike D Pinball company. He doesn't make them anymore. Basically, you bought the LCD screen, and he had a board with the chips to basically make this work. So normally there would be a hologram in here, and it would show the creature when you're in multi-ball. This mod will show you different features of the different features as you're playing.
Oh, that's awesome. So then it connects to the board too. So some of these mods, you're able to actually plug it in to the board and have it interact. Right? Yes. That's so cool. Does that take a lot of programming for the people that create the mods?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a deep world of stuff. Yeah. I'm just trying to add in like a little figure and just mount it. And I'm like, add an LED to it. I'm like, I'm afraid to like cut a wire or do something. But that's pretty intense to do that.
So these are cool. Stern makes these
side blades.
Those are cool for machines too.
I need to get some for my Star Wars. They're sold out everywhere, so I gotta find somebody to make them. Are they normally just vinyl print that you're putting it on, or is it actual like Is it like a stick-on? Like
It's stick on.
adhesive?
It's
Okay,
pretty durable material. I mean, it can
okay,
scratch, but if
okay.
you're careful, you'll.
I'm just thinking if I can find a vendor to make graphics, then if I get the right dimensions, I could
I
almost
would
design
talk
it.
to Zach at Flipping Out Pinball and see if he has any.
Okay, yeah, very
He
cool.
may not, but he very well could.
Thanks for the
Uh,
recommendation. Very
not
cool. Yeah.
trying to think if there's anything else.
For folks
Oh,
that are just joining us, we're watching Tom's amazing. We just did a tour of the arcade and pinball. Sorry, not well. Some arcades, some arcade one ups. Do you have any actual real arcades, or are they just arcade one ups and pinballs?
just arcade one-ups. I do
Yeah.
have a big control panel that I was
Okay.
using for MAME, but it's currently under one of my pinball machines.
That's okay. You're more of a pinhead. That's cool. That's all right. We appreciated that. All right. So
Oh,
any
here's probably the coolest mod ever made. You
yes.
will like this. Okay, so can you see that?
Is that a Tron arcade
It's
inside of the?
yeah. It's got the LC. Can you see the LC?
Yeah, that's the actual arcade game, or at least like a little image of it that's
Yeah,
actually running. Is that an actual ROM or no? Is that just
it has a video playing of
of the game?
cracked mode, but yeah,
That's so cool. It's Tron within Tron
yeah.
within Tron within Tron. It just keeps going. That's so freaking cool. So that's what was there before. Is that not, or was that always there? And then
Oh, there was basically a cheaper version of it that just had a blank screen that was like paper mache that lit up. So somebody
so cool.
somebody made this mod. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but yeah, it's really cool. They lit up the marquee and even the joystick.
Yeah.
Did the side art. It's really cool.
That's
And I did these. These are Hallmark lights.
light cycles. Mm-hmm.
I modded them to light up as with the game. So
Yeah. Cool. Well, I definitely will need to do that. Well, because with the Star Wars Pro, there's a lot of empty space, and so it was one of those where I saw it and I was like, I saw the extra features of the ramps of the premium and the extra figure. So I thought about, I was like, I probably could add a figure just to add some color to it. So with adding LEDs and adding that to the game, maybe I'll ask you that on the side. But how much work is involved in truly getting something to light up with the system? Is it as easy as just finding a power source and then having it go with it, or did you have to do anything
no,
fancy with
pretty
the
much
board?
just finding the power source. So like on
Yeah.
each game in the back box, there's
Hmm.
a little power distribution
Hmm.
area that you can, if you go to Pinball Life. Uh,
Hmm.
it's a company in Illinois. They sell a lot of pinball parts.
Yep.
They have basically wiring that you can have an adapter to that board, so you can
Got it.
power out of it.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm familiar with Pinball Life. I got some pinball legs from them for as replacements for my Legends pinball. So, and I got my shaker motor from there. I installed a shaker motor into my other one, and I don't have a shaker in the Stern one, or that I know of. So, but those are optional, right? Like, do you like shaker motors, or are you a fan or not?
I'm a fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have them on all the time, but I do like them.
Yeah. Look at this. Tron lit ramps. Tom's collection is dope. AF. We know that much.
I was
King is now an evil genius pinball mode. Yeah.
might have something for you, B. I gotta make sure I have it. But I saw you were making this mod. I'll have to look when we're done. I think I have something that you will like.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So, but I'll have to dig through my parts.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, I appreciate you so much for joining us. I mean, we spent the last hour talking to, I consider now one of the top pinball players in the world. And I can legitimately say that, which is
Okay.
pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. Probably one of the badass collections I've ever seen, virtually. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tour as much as I did. I'm going to have fun playing with my little mini Star Wars Stern pinball that still gets a lot of value. I added that little Millennium Falcon there. I'm about to add in a Star Destroyer somehow mounted in the back. I went to Mezzo Mods, does like some things, and was getting some things there from them to hopefully dive into it. So I'm a tinkerer. I like to learn as I go. And so Tom, you're an excellent resource. Thank you so much. Any last things you want to shout out, promote before we end the stream?
Just if anybody wants to follow me, you can follow me on Twitch at Fox Cities Pinball or on YouTube. And then I'm also on Instagram and Facebook at the same places. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Fox Cities Pinball is the place. Tom, stay on afterwards as we end the stream, and see you guys next week. I'll be doing a stream this Saturday from our weekly chill and chat if you want to discuss and tell me how terrible of an idea it was for me to buy 2 Arcade 1-Up Big Blues. I know, Tom, you saw my earlier stream. Don't tell Mrs. Kongs or us, though, because I don't think I'm going to tell her, and I'll probably tell her live on Sunday that I did it, because she doesn't watch these shows and we can be honest with each other. So it'll be fun. Thanks a lot, Tom. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks.